Welcome back. 13 CMG members were captured being tied to the Young Dolph case because they helped a lot of the people that was actually trying to set him up. And so this is why the feds, they swept Memphis. They went and raided every single person that was a part of this whole thing because they know that the trial is coming soon. They have to get the suspects, and basically everybody that put themselves in this by being around Yo Gotti, by taking the money to do this, drop the location, follow him with the car, all of the people that actually has something to do with the downfall and the day that Dolph actually got sent up is now being looked at as part of the whole RICO, because this is what the feds have been waiting to do this whole time. They were going to get everybody that's around Yo Gotti, everybody that's around CMG to turn against each other, because they know that the loyalty will get thrown out the window when they all facing the consequences for what they did to Young Dolph. If you guys are rocking with Young Dolph, I want you to like this video, comment down below RIP Dolph, put the dolphin emoji, let me know where y'all from and who you rocking with, man. What do you think about Yo Gotti? Do you think that he's trying to get away with this? Do you think he will be caught? And do you want to get justice for Young Dolph? Let me know in the comment section, because now when you really look at who was around Dolph that was supporting him, it was really just his main artists, Guccimane and Ralo. This is why Young Dolph and Ralo, they owned a lot of the stuff that was going on down in the South. And this is why Yo Gotti got jealous, because he knew that Ralo and Yo Gotti, they also have a beef, especially with moneybaggyo. You gotta understand, Dolph was clicked up with all the people that Yo Gotti also had other problems with, especially Guccimane. A lot of people say that Guccimane and Yo Gotti is ops. So once Yo Gotti saw that Dolph was rocking with Guccimane and he was doing business with Ralo, that's when he completely got hypnotized by the hate, because now all the people that Yo Gotti was jealous of, envious of, they all came together and started working together. This is what pushed Yo Gotti to the limits, that he wanted to take it to the streets, because he knew that Young Dolph, Ralo, and Guccimane, they had the streets on lock. They had all the hot artists on their platforms signed to them. They were giving away the chains and everything, giving Lamborghinis to the artists and everything like that, showing them how to do it, basically doing features with them coming up. And the only reason why moneybaggyo got famous and signed by Yo Gotti was because he got popular off of getting a free feature from Young Dolph. Young Dolph already said it himself. He didn't have no issues with moneybaggyo, but then he even went out of his way to give him the free feature. And then that's when Yo Gotti noticed that and was like, I gotta hurry up and take moneybaggyo before Young Dolph secures him. So this is the type of thing where they were basically going back and forth with each other. Anything that Yo Gotti heard Dolph doing, Yo Gotti would try to come in and sabotage it, or try to get it up out of him quick, or try to tell the person like, no, I'm gonna offer you more, you got to do this and that. And so this is the main reason why everything got pushed to the level it got pushed to, because the dudes from CMG, they just couldn't sit back and let Dolph take over Memphis like that, because they from Memphis. Young Dolph was from another city and came to Memphis when he was very, very young. And so just from that little difference alone, it made people like Blac Youngsta, people like Yo Gotti, Big Jook, Govan Hernandez, it all made them get mad, because they seen that somebody from out of town came and became the king of Memphis, and that's really why they got mad. And not only that, but they seen that Dolph was making a lot of money, and he didn't want to have to click up with the haters. He knew that Yo Gotti and them were trying to use him and try to get him to come to their side and everything like that. But Dolph had his own thing going on, and so this is why he stayed doing it under his own path. He was very successful doing that. And now, one thing people gotta understand is that bigmoochiegrape, once bigmoochiegrape came into the picture, it was around the same time that Blac Youngsta got signed to CMG, so that he could basically be the crash test dummy and do all of the stuff that Yo Gotti was scared to do, because he didn't want to get caught for it. And bigmoochiegrape came out, and he knew for a fact that bigmoochiegrape was the person that had that part of Memphis, East Memphis, on lock, basically. And so what they were saying is that when bigmoochiegrape got his chain snatched, this is when everything started going mixing in the streets, because he got his chain snatched by the dudes who ended up having the white car. And they posted the picture, and that's how they knew that who was the people that was actually involved in the whole setup. They was looking at JoJo Splat. They was looking at the other dude who had the black hat on. He had CEO Teasy had on the black hat, the black Bass Pro Shop hat, the same one that the dude used that was seen in the picture released of the suspects in front of the cookie shop. And so now they're going back and reviewing everything, and they found out that this is the main reason why all of Memphis, it was so many different groups, the different cliques, that it was basically, they didn't know who was Double R, who was Trula, who was part of this, who was part of that. And so that's once they knew that was going on, you couldn't trust nobody, because this would mean that at any given moment somebody would actually take the money to try to slime out the person from their own group that they grew up with, or somebody that's feeding them and paying them, like how Young Dolph did. You have to basically watch closely to a lot of people that was around there. And this is why Daddy-O and Dolph, they were the only two people that was the main owners of PRE. And so that's why when Young Dolph had to go get that chain for Key Glock at the Jewelry Unlimited, he had to call Daddy-O and ask him to clear the money to buy the chain. And so this is when everybody knew, like, why did Young Dolph have to ask Daddy-O for that? And a lot of people are saying that Yo Gotti and Daddy-O, they was friends coming up in Memphis. They actually knew each other, and at some point were friends and had some sort of partnership and everything going on. And so this is another reason why Dolph should have watched very closely of everybody around him, because you never know at what moment did they run into Yo Gotti, Big Jook, or any of the dudes from CMG like Govan. And what did they tell them? What were they trying to convince them of? And what were they trying to, like, indulge them in? Like, they might have tried to maybe gave them some money and said, you gotta drop the location for us, or you gotta switch to CMG. Look at how Glorilla switched sides so quick. This is why a lot of people are looking at Glorilla like she might have been part of the people who actually turned against Young Dolph. Because if you really look at what was going on at that time, it was a lot of people switching sides. You didn't know who to trust. You had to keep your head on a swivel. Young Dolph's circle kept getting smaller and smaller, because it was a lot of people that kept coming around that he couldn't trust no more. Just keep in mind how Key Glock was bringing straight drop to the music videos this whole entire time. That Key Glock actually had the dude who was one of the suspects coming to the music video. That means everybody that's in on setting up Young Dolph, they had to have known people from PRE. At some point, people were all friends. They went to high school together. Key Glock and Raven went to school together. This is how they know each other. Memphis is a small town. A lot of these people, a lot of these rappers, they grew up together in the same hoods, the same apartments. They went to the same after-school program, Boys and Girls Club, everything like that. And so they can't just sit back and say that they don't know who Straight Drop is and that they don't know who all of these other people are that's coming out of Memphis, when they grew up in Memphis right along with them people. And so this is when Dolph should have realized that he had to cut his circle small, because it was a lot of people who was money hungry. And basically Dolph wasn't just gonna give him the bread just like that. He was gonna have to make sure that they knew that they had to work for it and show Dolph that they actually earned the money to get it from him.